Implement.
Implement.
시행하다.
The company plans to implement a new policy. Comply.
Comply.
준수하다.
Employees must comply with safety regulations. Mandatory.
Mandatory.
의무적인.
Wearing a helmet is mandatory on the construction site. Incentive.
Incentive.
장려책, 혜택.
The company offers incentives for high performance. Allocate.
Allocate.
할당하다.
Funds were allocated to each department. Compensation.
Compensation.
보상, 보수.
She received compensation for her injuries. Prerequisite.
Prerequisite.
전제 조건.
A degree is a prerequisite for the position. Reimburse.
Reimburse.
상환하다, 변제하다.
We will reimburse you for travel expenses. Lucrative.
Lucrative.
수익성이 좋은.
They found the investment to be lucrative. Subsidiary.
Subsidiary.
자회사.
The company is a subsidiary of a larger firm. Commensurate.
Commensurate.
상응하는, 비례한.
Salary will be commensurate with experience. Turnover.
Turnover.
이직률.
The high turnover rate is concerning. Inclement.
Inclement.
날씨가 험악한.
The event was cancelled due to inclement weather. Adverse.
Adverse.
부정적인, 불리한.
Adverse market conditions affected sales. Unanimous.
Unanimous.
만장일치.
The decision was made with unanimous support. Liability.
Liability.
책임, 부채.
The company has significant liabilities. Unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
전례 없는.
This is an unprecedented situation. Facilitate.
Facilitate.
용이하게 하다, 촉진하다.
Our role is to facilitate communication. Expedite.
Expedite.
신속히 처리하다.
We need to expedite the delivery process. Stagnant.
Stagnant.
침체된.
The stagnant economy is a concern. Perishable.
Perishable.
부패하기 쉬운.
Store perishable foods in the refrigerator. Proficiency.
Proficiency.
숙달, 능숙.
She has high proficiency in English. Feasible.
Feasible.
실행 가능한.
We need a feasible solution. Consolidate.
Consolidate.
통합하다, 강화하다.
The companies decided to consolidate operations. Renowned.
Renowned.
유명한, 명성 있는.
He is a renowned expert in his field. Volatile.
Volatile.
변동이 심한, 불안정한.
Stock prices are highly volatile these days. Waive.
Waive.
포기하다, 면제하다.
The fee was waived due to a promotion. Contingency.
Contingency.
만일의 사태.
The budget includes a contingency fund. Morale.
Morale.
사기, 의욕.
The manager boosted employee morale. Streamline.
Streamline.
능률적으로 하다, 효율화하다.
They streamlined the process to save time. Authorize.
Authorize.
권한을 부여하다.
Only managers are authorized to approve expenses. Benchmark.
Benchmark.
기준점.
This report serves as a benchmark for future performance. Bolster.
Bolster.
강화하다.
The policy is designed to bolster economic growth. Collaborate.
Collaborate.
협력하다.
The teams will collaborate on the new project. Comprehensive.
Comprehensive.
포괄적인.
We need a comprehensive strategy for global expansion. Confidential.
Confidential.
기밀이.
Please keep this information strictly confidential. Consecutive.
Consecutive.
연속적인.
The company reported profits for 5 consecutive quarters. Deduct.
Deduct.
공제하다.
The cost will be deducted from your paycheck. Delegate.
Delegate.
위임하다.
Managers should delegate tasks to their teams. Discrepancy.
Discrepancy.
불일치.
There is a discrepancy between the two reports. Distribute.
Distribute.
배포하다.
Flyers will be distributed across the campus. Diversify.
Diversify.
다각화하다.
We plan to diversify our product line next year. Emphasize.
Emphasize.
강조하다.
The speaker emphasized the need for innovation. Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
기업가.
She is a successful entrepreneur in the tech industry. Expenditure.
Expenditure.
지출.
The government increased its infrastructure expenditure. Fiscal.
Fiscal.
재정의.
The fiscal year ends in March. Franchise.
Franchise.
가맹점.
He opened a franchise of a famous coffee brand.
Impede.
Impede.
방해하다.
Heavy traffic may impede delivery times. Infringe.
Infringe.
침해하다.
The design infringes on another company's patent. Inventory.
Inventory.
재고.
We conduct an inventory check every month. Jeopardize.
Jeopardize.
위태롭게 하다.
Late payments may jeopardize your credit rating. Litigation.
Litigation.
소송.
The company is involved in a legal litigation. Negotiate.
Negotiate.
협상하다.
They are negotiating a new contract. Procure.
Procure.
조달하다.
We procure raw materials from overseas.
Redundant.
Redundant.
불필요한 정리해고된.
Several positions became redundant after the merger.
Reliable.
Reliable.
믿을 수 있는.
We need a reliable internet connection for remote work.
Solicit.
Solicit.
요청하다.
The charity is soliciting donations online.
Stipulate.
Stipulate.
명시하다.
The contract stipulates the terms of payment.
Substantiate.
Substantiate.
입증하다.
He failed to substantiate his claims.
Withdraw.
Withdraw.
철회하다. 인출하다.
She decided to withdraw her application.
Acquisition.
Acquisition.
인수 습득.
The company announced the acquisition of a startup.
Amend.
Amend.
수정하다.
They decided to amend the contract terms.
Arbitrary.
Arbitrary.
임의적인.
The decision seemed arbitrary and unfair.
Attain.
Attain.
달성하다.
He finally attained his goal after years of effort.
Audit.
Audit.
회계감사,
An internal audit is scheduled for next month.
Compromise.
Compromise.
타협하다,
Both sides must compromise to reach an agreement.
Contend.
Contend.
주장하다,
The lawyer contended that his client was innocent.
Convey.
Convey.
전달하다,
She tried to convey her thoughts clearly.
Criteria.
Criteria.
기준,
The applicants were judged based on strict criteria.
Devise.
Devise.
고안하다,
They devised a new marketing strategy.
Disrupt.
Disrupt.
방해하다,
Construction noise disrupted the meeting.
Enroll.
Enroll.
등록하다,
She enrolled in an advanced English course.
Exceed.
Exceed.
초과하다,
Sales this quarter exceeded expectations.
Excerpt.
Excerpt.
발췌 인용,
He read an excerpt from the book.
Facilitation.
Facilitation.
촉진,
The manager was responsible for meeting facilitation.
Forecast.
Forecast.
예측하다,
Analysts forecast a rise in fuel prices.
Gratify.
Gratify.
만족시키다,
The reward gratified his hard work.
Insight.
Insight.
통찰력,
Her report gave valuable insights into the issue.
Intact.
Intact.
손상되지 않은,
The documents remained intact after the fire.
Liaise.
Liaise.
연락하다, 협력하다,
She liaises with clients on a daily basis.
Offset.
Offset.
상쇄하다,
The gains offset the previous losses.
Overhead.
Overhead.
간접비,
The company reduced overhead to increase profits.
Persuade.
Persuade.
설득하다,
She persuaded him to invest in the project.
Precaution.
Precaution.
예방 조치,
Always take precautions when handling chemicals.
Premise.
Premise.
전제,
The theory is based on a flawed premise.
Recruit.
Recruit.
모집하다,
The company is recruiting new employees.
Refute.
Refute.
반박하다,
He refuted the accusations with evidence.
Specify.
Specify.
명시하다,
The document specifies the delivery date.
Terminate.
Terminate.
종료하다,
They decided to terminate the contract early.
Versatile.
Versatile.
다재다능한,
She is a versatile employee with many skills.
Adherence.
Adherence.
고수 집착,
Strict adherence to safety rules is required.
Affiliation.
Affiliation.
제휴 소속,
He has no affiliation with any political party.
Alleviate.
Alleviate.
완화하다,
The new system aims to alleviate traffic congestion.
Assert.
Assert.
주장하다,
He asserted that he was not responsible.
Attentive.
Attentive.
주의 깊은,
The staff was attentive to every customer's need.
Authenticate.
Authenticate.
진위를 확인하다,
The signature was authenticated by an expert.
Bargain.
Bargain.
흥정하다, 거래,
He bargained for a better price.
Complement.
Compliment.
흥정하다, 거래,
The wine perfectly complements the meal.
Confer.
Confer.
상의하다, 수여하다,
They conferred about the new hiring process.
Conscientious.
Conscientious.
성실한,
She is a conscientious worker who never misses a deadline.
Constraint.
Constraint.
제약,
Time constraints limited our options.
Credibility.
Credibility.
제약,
The witness lost credibility during cross-examination.
Deem.
Deem.
간주하다,
The event was deemed a success.
Detain.
Detain.
억류하다,
She was detained by the police for questioning.
Diminish.
Diminish.
줄어들다, 감소하다,
His influence has diminished over time.
Discretion.
Discretion.
재량, 자유재량권,
Use your discretion when dealing with sensitive issues.
Elapse.
Elapse.
경과하다,
Several hours had elapsed before he returned.
Endeavor.
Endeavor.
노력하다, 시도하다,
We endeavor to provide the best service possible.
Entail.
Entail.
수반하다,
The new position entails more responsibilities.
Exempt.
Exempt.
면제된,
Non-profit organizations are exempt from taxes.
Explicit.
Explicit.
명확한,
She gave explicit instructions.
Foster.
Foster.
촉진하다, 육성하다,
The conference aims to foster international cooperation.
Incur.
Incur.
초래하다,
You will incur a penalty if you cancel late.
Indispensable.
Indispensable.
필수적인,
She is an indispensable member of the team.
Intermittent.
Intermittent.
간헐적인,
We experienced intermittent internet issues.
Meticulous.
Meticulous.
꼼꼼한,
He is meticulous in his work.
Moderate.
Moderate.
완화하다, 적당한,
The government took steps to moderate inflation.
Obliged.
Oblige.
의무가 있는,
Employees are obliged to follow the company rules.
Omit.
Omit.
생략하다, 빠뜨리다,
The name was omitted from the final list.
Prevalent.
Prevalent.
널리 퍼진,
This view is prevalent among young people.
Relinquish.
Relinquish.
포기하다, 넘겨주다,
She was forced to relinquish control of the company.
Scrutinize.
Scrutinize.
면밀히 조사하다,
They scrutinized the contract before signing it.
Subordinate.
Subordinate.
하급자, 종속적인,
He delegated the task to his subordinate.
Transmit.
Transmit.
전송하다, 전달하다,
The data is transmitted through secure channels.
Utilize.
Utilize.
활용하다,
We should utilize all available resources.
Viable.
Viable.
실행 가능한,
This is a viable solution to the problem.
Withstand.
Withstand.
견디다, 이겨내다,
The building can withstand strong winds.
Yield.
Yield.
산출하다, 양보하다,
The farm yields enough vegetables for the market.
Adjourn.
Adjourn.
휴회하다, 연기하다,
The meeting was adjourned until next week.
Advocate.
Advocate.
옹호하다,
She advocates for equal rights.
Arise.
Arise.
발생하다,
Problems may arise during the process.
Assertive.
Assertive.
단호한,
You need to be more assertive in meetings.
Attainable.
Attainable.
달성 가능한,
Our goals should be realistic and attainable.
Authorize.
Authorize.
권한을 부여하다,
Only managers are authorized to approve expenses.
Capitalize.
Capitalize.
이용하다,
We need to capitalize on current market trends.
Cease.
Seize.
중단하다.
We need to capitalize on current market trends.
Circumvent.
Circumvent.
피하다, 우회하다.
They tried to circumvent the regulation.
Coherent.
Coherent.
일관된 조리 있는.
She gave a coherent explanation of the policy.
Commence.
Commence.
시작하다.
The event will commence at noon.
Comply.
Comply.
따르다, 준수하다.
You must comply with all safety standards.
Contemplate.
Contemplate.
숙고하다.
They are contemplating a major expansion.
Correspond.
Contemplate.
일치하다, 서신을 주고받다.
The results correspond with our predictions.
Curtail.
Curtail.
축소하다, 줄이다.
The company curtailed spending this year.
Delegate.
Delegate.
위임하다.
He delegated the task to his assistant.
Denote.
Denote.
나타내다, 의미하다.
The red color denotes urgency.
Determine.
Determine.
결정하다, 알아내다.
We need to determine the cause of the issue.
Differentiate.
Differentiate.
구별하다.
It's important to differentiate fact from opinion.
Disclose.
Disclose.
공개하다.
The report disclosed the company's financial details.
Disseminate.
Disseminate.
전파하다.
The organization disseminates health information.
Divulge.
Divulge.
누설하다.
He refused to divulge any confidential details.
Emerge.
Emerge.
나타나다, 부상하다.
New evidence has emerged in the case.
Endeavor.
Endeavor.
노력하다.
We endeavor to meet our clients' expectations.
Enforce.
Enforce.
시행하다.
The new law will be strictly enforced.
Enrich.
Enrich.
풍요롭게 하다.
Traveling can enrich your life.
Entail.
Entail.
수반하다.
The job entails frequent travel.
Entitle.
Entitle.
자격을 부여하다.
You are entitled to a refund.
Eradicate.
Eradicate.
근절하다.
The government is trying to eradicate corruption.
Evaluate.
Evaluate.
평가하다.
We need to evaluate the results carefully.
Exemplify.
Exemplify.
예시하다.
This case exemplifies the problem well.
Expend.
Expend.
소비하다, 지출하다.
They expended a lot of time and effort on the project.
Facilitate.
Facilitate.
용이하게 하다.
The new software facilitates communication between teams.
Formulate.
Formulate.
공식화하다, 만들어내다.
They formulated a new plan for marketing.
Hinder.
Hinder.
방해하다.
Poor internet connection hindered our meeting.
Implement.
Implement.
실행하다.
We implemented the new system last month.
Inhibit.
Inhibit.
억제하다, 방해하다.
Fear can inhibit learning.
Adjacent.
Adjacent.
인접한.
The office is adjacent to the main building.
Attest.
Attest.
증명하다.
He can attest to her honesty.
Breach.
Breach.
위반, 침해.
There was a breach of contract.
Compulsion.
Compulsion.
강요, 충동.
He acted out of compulsion.
Deteriorate.
Deteriorate.
악화되다.
The situation has deteriorated rapidly.
Discrete.
Discreet.
신중한.
He made a discreet inquiry.
Embezzle.
Embezzle.
횡령하다.
He embezzled company funds.
Fluctuate.
Fluctuate.
변동하다,
Prices fluctuate depending on demand.
Forge.
Forge.
위조하다, 구축하다,
They forged a close relationship.
Hamper.
Hamper.
방해하다,
The heavy traffic hampered our progress.
Implication.
Implication.
영향, 함축,
The policy has significant implications for trade.
Invoke.
Invoke.
적용하다, 호소하다,
He invoked the law to support his claim.
Maneuver.
Maneuver.
움직임, 책략,
The company maneuvered skillfully in a tough market.
Menace.
Menace.
위협,
Pollution is a growing menace to marine life.
Nullify.
Nullify.
무효화하다,
The agreement was nullified due to fraud.
Optimize.
Optimize.
최적화하다,
We need to optimize our workflow.
Preclude.
Preclude.
막다, 방해하다,
Poor weather precluded the possibility of a picnic.
Repercussion.
Repercussion.
영향, 반향,
The decision will have serious repercussions.
Substantive.
Substantive.
실질적인,
We made substantive progress in the negotiations.
Transient.
Transient.
일시적인,
The drop in sales was only transient.
Unveil.
Unveil.
발표하다, 공개하다,
The company unveiled its new product line.
Verify.
Verify.
확인하다,
Can you verify this information?
Waiver.
Waiver.
면제, 포기,
He signed a waiver before the surgery.
Accrue.
Accrue.
누적되다, 축적되다,
Interest will accrue over time.
Befall.
Befall.
닥치다,
Misfortune may befall the careless.
Concur.
Concur.
동의하다,
Experts concur that the method is effective.
Delineate.
Delineate.
자세히 설명하다,
The policy clearly delineates responsibilities.
Elevate.
Elevate.
승진시키다, 향상시키다,
She was elevated to manager last year.
Exacerbate.
Exacerbate.
악화시키다,
His comments exacerbated the tension.
Garner.
Garner.
얻다, 모으다,
The campaign garnered widespread support.
Harness.
Harness.
활용하다,
We need to harness solar energy.
Improvise.
Improvise.
즉흥적으로 하다,
He had to improvise his presentation.
Mediate.
Mediate.
중재하다,
He mediated the dispute between the two sides.
Nurture.
Nurture.
양육하다, 육성하다,
We must nurture young talent.
Subvert.
Subvert.
전복하다, 무너뜨리다,
They plotted to subvert the government.